Are you fucking kidding me? That was insane! Holy fuck, that was like... Oh my god, that was so satisfying. How's it going, guys? It's Alninio here, and this is going to be the new preseason runes for Katarina. And there might be some tweaks to this, to these runes in the future from Riot. They might tweak some things here and there, but this is how it's looking right now in 8th of November. First day of preseason. So this rune page right here is probably the best rune page for Katarina at the moment. There's probably more to experiment with, but I've seen the others. I think Sorcery is a close second as one of the best, but for Katarina, Domination and Precision is really good because of the percentage damage and all that. So we're gonna get into that and explain to you the decisions. So right here we have Domination and Precision. The first one, definitely Electrocute, because that is basically old Thunderlord except different damage, higher cooldown early. And you can see it says right there, quote, "We called them the Thunderlords for the speak of their lightning was to invite disaster." So you know, that's very fitting to Thunderlord's theme. So these two, not really worth for Cat. Dark Harvest, you know, champions, large minions, and large monsters drop soul essence on death. This you can leave it for maybe jungling or something else entirely. And for the movement speed part, it is just better to go for this. I think it's self-explanatory that this should be your keystone. So definitely go for Electrocute. Next up, Sudden Impact. Instead of Taste of Blood and Cheap Shot. Sudden Impact after exiting stealth or using a dash, sleep, blink, teleport, aka Katarina's Shampoo, is a blink. You will gain 10 lethality and 8 magic penetration for 5 seconds. And keep in mind, early flat magic penetration is such a good stat on Katarina, and that allows her mid game to be really good. So imagine every time you Shampoo, you get 8 flat magic pen, plus your Sorc Shoes, plus your Haunting Eyes. In a way, this 8 magic penetration kind of helps you because the old runes, you used to have magic penetration marks and all that stuff, right? In all marks you get 7.7 magic penetration, so this gives it 8 magic penetration compared to old runes. Well, I mean, with the old runes I used to fill my whole page with magic penetration and health per level seals. Because magic penetration is such a good stat for Katarina, so getting some magic penetration from using just Shampoo is really good. Keep in mind though, it's on a 4-second cooldown, so you're not going to be able to like Shampoo, and then keep getting 8 magic penetration every time you Shampoo. It has a 4-second cooldown, but it lasts for 5 seconds, so that's pretty good, right? So keep that, absolutely want to go for that. And next up is Eyeball Collection. You can choose between Zombie Ward or Eyeball Collection, but I definitely suggest Eyeball Collection. This basically means that for every champion takedown, you get 2 eyeballs at a max of 20. So you just keep killing, and Katarina's nature is to kill people, and the main thing she gives to her team is damage. So you want to step up and do your part, which is to deal damage. So it only makes sense to go Eyeball Collection. You gain adaptive bonus of attack damage or 1 AP. So in this case, you're definitely going to get the 1 AP part for every, you know, every eyeball. So the 0.6 attack damage will not apply because you're Katarina, you're going to be building AP. So it will adapt to what you build. Basically, it will adapt to what is higher, AD or AP. AP is higher on Cat because you buy AP items, so that's gonna go up. So that's very good for Katarina. Zombie Ward is okay if you're gonna buy a Sweeper and take out wards, but I still think this is better because it fits Katarina more because of her nature with killing. And Ghost Power is something else entirely, so you don't care about that too much. It's just if you enter a bush, it summons a Poro, and yada yada yada. That's more so like towards support role or maybe for other things. Not entirely, it doesn't have to be for supports only, but it's not for Katarina, just ignore it. Ingenious Hunter is what we go as our last rune slot here. This will give us 10% active item cooldown reduction plus an additional 6% per bounty hunter stack. Now if you don't know what bounty hunter stack means, it is the old mastery in ferocity. For every unique champion takedown, it will increase, it used to increase your damage. So here you can choose between 3. So there is Ravenous Hunter, which will heal for a percentage of damage dealt. Yes, this might be okay with Gunblade. It's not a bad thing, right? You could go for it, but I still don't think it's worth going for on Katarina. This, you gain 8 out of combat move speed, plus 8 per bounty hunter stack. So for every bounty hunter stack, you gain more and more movement speed. This, I don't really think this is the way to go either, but you can if you want. Up to you. Movement speed out of combat's not bad on Katarina either, to be fair, because you can roam a lot more and you can chase enemies better and all that stuff. It's not bad, right? It's okay, but I still would prefer Ingenious Hunter. Basically, 10% active item cooldown reduction means your Gunblade and your Zonya will have the active item cooldown reduction on it. So you can Zonya more often in the game, you can Gunblade more often, and it goes up 6% per bounty hunter stack. So that's pretty good. And keep in mind, I'm just gonna clarify this real quick. Bounty hunter stack, so there are 5 enemy champions, right? So killing Twitch is 1%. If you kill Twitch again, it's still gonna be 1%. So you have to kill every single one, and it's gonna go up. So 2%, 3%, 4%. You can't kill like Twitch 5 times and I get 6%. It has to be unique takedowns, so it has to be for every single champion on the enemy team. And guess what? Katarina is a monster at killing everyone. She's a monster at pentakills, so this only fits her, so you should definitely go for that. Alright, but the bounty hunter finishing, all of these have bounty hunter. All of them do different things. I would suggest the active item CDR because of Zonya and Gunblade. Absolutely would want to go for that. Next up, we can choose between anything else, and we chose Precision. You can choose, you know, Resolve, etc., but Precision is the best one for Katarina for these reasons. This Coup de Grace is absolutely phenomenal. It deals 10% more damage to champions who have less than 40% health. Basically, you do more damage when they're lower health, which is like the old Dangerous Game in Cunning from the old masteries, which is really good. Additionally, takedowns on champions grant an adaptive bonus of, you'll get 15 AP on takedown, which is pretty good. So I would definitely suggest for the, keep in mind it's not permanent, it's only for 10 seconds. Like you don't get 15 AP and it sticks with you forever. It sticks for you for 10 seconds, so it gives you that little extra damage in there. Maybe it'll help you kill someone for the next 10 seconds. So that's a pretty good keystone. Well, it's not keystone, it's a very good rune slot here. But there will be some games where this is okay, but there will be some games where they have a Sejuani jungle, top lane Shen, Leona support, they have so much tanks, right? So in some situations, while you're in champion select, you can actually edit these. So here is, you can go, let me see if I can, this one, cut down. You deal 4% more damage to champions with 150 more max health than you, increasing to 10%. So this is basically against, this is like a Lord Dominic in a sense. It's like Lord Dominic's. It works well with Liandry. This is actually not bad, because Liandry is a good item on Katarina. Actually, a very good item against high HP champions, and you deal burn damage as well for impaired units. This is actually good against like a tank team. And against a tank team, you should build Liandry's Torment. So, still, Coup de Grace is the standard rune slot to go for. I think it's better because Katarina's nature is to kill people when they're half health, and she's very good at that. She can, because you one-shot someone, right? And as you one-shot their full health, you do more damage when they're lower as you're damaging them when they're full. So it helps with one-shotting. So Coup de Grace is very good here. The next one will be Triumph. So takedowns restore 50% of your missing health and grant additional 25 gold. This is actually awesome. This is actually the old Dangerous Game, where you kill people and you get back health. So takedowns, you restore your missing health. So let's say you're really low health, and you managed to grab that sick pentakill, and that extra little health made you get that pentakill, for example. This is a very good rune for Katarina. In late game team fighting, and like when clutch situations where you're really low health and they're all really low, and you're able to kill everyone and get back that health to keep you going in the fight. That's a very good rune to go for. So I would definitely suggest going Triumph here, because it is phenomenal. Now there is actually a rune that I can't really remember where it was, so let me look for that. I do want to quickly go back here real quick on domination. There is a rune page called Cheap Shot. Damaging champions with impaired movement or actions deal 12 to 30 bonus true damage. So this rune right here can be good with Liandry's Torment, and it's good against, you know, tank teams, but still, I don't think you should go for Cheap Shot. Just stick with Sudden Impact. I know, like, sometimes you want to go situational runes that might work in certain games. I still think Sudden Impact is better for Cat because of her snowballing nature, and because this Sudden Impact gives you 8 magic penetration for 5 seconds. Give me that free magic pen. It's perfect for Katarina. So we're definitely going to go for that, plus the Soak Shoes, plus the Haunting Guys, which are items I personally buy on Cat, because magic pen is a very good stat on Katarina. So definitely go Sudden Impact. And that's pretty much the rune page for Katarina. Now we're going to head to items and explain to you my full build. Now as for the items, here we are. We have our starting options would be Dorn Shield or Dark Seal or even Cloth Armor against AD champions. So you can choose whatever starting item depending on the situation. Dorn Shield is very good against damage over time abilities such as Malzahar E, Cassiopeia Poison, or in situations where you're going to get poked a lot, like maybe Brand. In a lot of situations though, Brand you can play aggressive against. So, you know, both are good options here, Dark Seal or Dorn Shield, depending on certain matchups. You want to get Dark Seal in matchups where you feel like you can be aggressive and you don't necessarily need Dorn Shield. You're not going to get poked too much, it's not a poke lane, things like that. So you would choose between these two starting items here. Next up, your items will be double longsword. So you want to go here and you want to get double longswords because early attack damage is a very good stat on Katarina, and it helps with her Shempo because it has a percentage of AD damage. It helps with her passive, it helps with her ulti as well. But generally, attack damage is very good pre-level 6, so you want to put advantage into that instead of going AP. However, if you have enough money for Hexjet Revolver, you probably should go Hexjet Revolver plus 1 longsword. That's not a bad thing either, you can do that. This would be in a good, you know, when you're doing okay, or maybe you get first blood and you back to base, this will be, you know, this will be your items. Double longswords and then amp tone into revolver. And then you want to get Sork Shoes. So after you get double longsword and revolver, you go Sork Shoes, Merc Treads, or Ninja Tabby. You want to pick one of these items. If they have a lot of auto attack damage based champions, like Twitch jungle, they have a Talon mid, they have a Yasuo top lane, Ninja Tabby would actually be good. And of course their AD carry, let's say Jinx, right? They have a lot of auto attack damage, so you want to go Ninja Tabby. This will also, you know, give you Cloth Armor. It will give you a little bit armor, plus blocks the 10% of damage from basic attacks. So that's a very solid pick against a comp like that. If you're doing well, and magic penetration is a very good stat, Sork Shoes now gives you 18 magic penetration instead of 15 magic pen. So you have extra magic pen. This is to compensate for the removal of magic penetration in runes, because they were removed from the old runes. So you get extra magic pen from this. Very, very good for Katarina. So that's what you want to go for. In most games, Sork Shoes is the way to go. If you want to go Merc Treads against champions like Sejuani, champions like top lane CC Malphite, for example. Some people with a lot of CC, against a team comp with a whole lot of CC and you can't do much, right? Tenacity is a very solid pick. Don't be afraid to pick this item. It's really good on Cat. Just because it says Merc Treads and it's not like Magic Pen or whatever, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually a solid item. You should go for it in some games. Once you finish those tier 2 boots, you go back here and you finish Gunblade all the way. So that means you finish Cutlass now and you finish the whole Gunblade. So now you have 2 items, your boots and your Gunblade. Your next item will be Haunting Guys, because Haunting Guys is a phenomenal item to go for. Flat magic penetration, again, very good stat to have on Katarina. So now you have a whole lot, plus if you looked back on runes, you also get 8 magic penetration every time you shump on someone. So that's an extra 8 magic penetration for 5 seconds. So now you get even extra. So if you're snowballing, you're doing really good. Magic penetration is a very good stat on Katarina. You might be thinking, oh, let's go needlessly large rod, but actually Katarina does so much damage alone just with Gunblade. You don't need that extra. You could go for that extra, of course, but Haunting Eyes is such a good stat. It is just better to go for flat magic penetration. Katarina does all magic damage on her abilities. Make use of your mid game. Your mid game is your strongest point, and to have a very good mid game is to have a lot of magic penetration. Magic penetration is very good early on. Flat stats mean more early on. That's why flat stats are really good. That's why like magic penetration is very good at that stage of the game. So now you have your Haunted Guys, you have your tier 2 boots, you have Gunblade. Your next item will be Zhonya or Void Staff, depending on the situation. So you need Zhonya if they don't have much MR. If they have over 50 magic resistance, it's good to buy Void Staff. If you feel like you need Zhonya, you can go for that. Say they have a Zed, it's good to go for. You can in fact skip out Haunted Guys and go for a Zhonya instead, if you feel like you need that Zhonya ASAP. So build accordingly, build on the situation. Void Staff is very good at later stages of the game. It has been actually buffed. It went from 35% magic penetration to 40% magic penetration. So you get that extra magic pen. Keep in mind, percentage of magic pen is very good late game, later on in the game. So that's why I say flat stats are good early, like Haunting Eyes and Sock Shoes. This will really help you in the mid game, and then you can transition into late game with a Void Staff with the 40% magic penetration. So that's going to be a great item to go for on Katarina. So definitely would suggest that. Now, of course, there will be games where you don't really have the best early game. So sometimes it is best to go for a Hex Drinker Rush. But if you go for a Hex Drinker Rush, you should not be getting Haunting Guys because it will delay your full build. Starting with this item as a first item means that you should instantly try to go for like Gunblade, Hex Drinker, Sork Shoes, or whatever boots you go for, and then the next item should be Zhonya or Void or something else entirely, like Rabadon, Liandry, things like that. But I would not, sorry, not Liandry. I would not go Liandry. I would not even go for the Haunting Guys path because it will delay your full build. You need the other items a bit more than just Haunting Guys. Haunting Guys is focused on snowballing, so keep that in mind. So you got your Hex Drinker. You want to sell that late game. You don't want to keep it around. It's not a very good item late game. You just want to keep it early and sell it later. This is a good item against champions where you're struggling in lane. This includes Aunii. I would definitely suggest this against, Aunii, Victor, champions where you're gonna, it's really shitty in lane. LeBlanc even. This is a good item to go for. If you notice they're not good and you're just destroying them, sometimes it's good to skip out Hex Drinker if you need to. Fizz. Hex Drinker is also phenomenal against someone like Fizz, so it's up to you if you want to go for that. As you progress into late game, you should definitely get a Rabadon, so get that item at some point in the game. If you're snowballing, you can go Gunblade, Sork Shoes, Haunted Guys, and then straight into Needlessly Large Rod, Rabadon. Just straight up, go for that, and then Void Staff after, and get a whole lot of damage that way. You can do it that way as well. Banshees, I don't usually go for this item as much anymore on Cat. I think for defensive wise, Zhonya is a very good item alone. It's phenomenal. It gets the job done, right? Banshee is still an option if you need to though. Liandry is an absolutely amazing item on Katarina as you progress into late game. Her ulti damage, the reason Liandry is good on Cat is because her ulti makes it work and her abilities make it work really well. And the reason is because Katarina, generally Liandry is not amazing for burst champions, like Ahri for example. I'll just give a quick example, hold that thought. Again, when you're playing Ahri, Liandry is not always the best option. Why? Because Ahri is a single target burst champion. She's a kite mage, right? She Qs, in, out, W, E, it focuses on one champion, right? And her ulti is for kiting. So Liandry is not always the best thing for her. But for Katarina, it is absolutely amazing because Katarina she's not only a burst champion, but she's an AoE burst champion, meaning she can deal damage to everyone around them, right? Everyone around you, gets dealt damage. And furthermore, Katarina doesn't just burst, her ulti is considered damage per second. So Liandry is very good for champions who have damage per second. Katarina's ulti is a very good example of this. Ahri, not so much. She has low DPS. Ahri is more burst. Katarina is both. Katarina is both AoE and burst and like everything mixed together. And that's why Liandry is such a good item later on in the game, because it just works with her ulti so well and with her entire kit. So definitely would suggest that. Lichbane is an option you can go for if you want. I personally don't go for it, but some games I might buy it as a last item. If I overextend my amount of gold, I might consider getting it to finish off the Nexus or whatever, clutch moves. But again, I would not suggest this item too much. It's okay, but it's not that okay. Rylai, I just have it here sitting, but I actually never buy this item. I think it is a horrendous item on Katarina. A lot of people might be disagreeing with me here, but it is actually the opposite of good on someone like Kat. This item could be good on someone like Ahri. Like Ahri against, you know, Darius top or something, and your mid lane and late game you can kite around with that, because she's a kite mage. Katarina is not a kiting champion. Rylai is good, but it's not that good on Kat. Kat, you want magic damage, you want full burst damage. Rylai does the opposite of that. It does not give you the full burst damage that you need. Focusing on other items is just overall better. If there was an extra inventory slot, this might be an option, but there's 6 items, and with 6 items you want to put everything you can in terms of damage, and Rylai does not fit Katarina. It just slows the slow. Who cares about that? You want health? Get Liandry. Liandry is far better in terms of both health, and it also gives you magic penetration, which is a very good stat for Katarina. So I would definitely suggest Liandry over Rylai. It's just, Rylai is just, it doesn't do its job very well on Kat. It's also a cheap item, so you can go for it if you want. But again, I highly suggest you do not grab this item on Kat and focus on pure damage. Lose out on the slow, it won't bother you. And of course we have QSS as an item choice here as well, because it is a very good item against a champion like Malzahar. So against Malzahar, I go Gunblade, Sork Shoes, and then QSS. You could go Merc Treads, but Merc Treads doesn't help against suppressions, and Malzahar's ulti is suppression. It only helps against his silence. Again, Merc Treads is an option if you want, but I would highly suggest just going for QSS. That's enough to deal with Malzahar. So you can go like Gunblade, Sork Shoes, and then QSS. So just keep it in there as an option. It's very good. You can buy QSS whenever you want later on in the game. I would highly suggest you buy QSS against Malzahar if your team is like even. If you're ahead, you can skip that item completely and focus on other items. But if you're even or behind, definitely go QSS, because it's going to help against Malzahar. Against Malzahar, keep in mind, when he ultis, he's very vulnerable. So try to like not get ulted by him in team fights. So that's your job as Katarina, is to avoid crowd control and play accordingly to that. Of course, just put an elixir of sorcery in here that will help you in the late game. Make sure you buy that in the later stages of the game. That is pretty much it for the Katarina runes. Thank you all so much for watching. Hold on, let me actually put on the new summon icon. Look at that. This is from the new Blue Essence shop. Make sure you guys get that summoner icon because it looks badass. And that is pretty much it for the Katarina runes and items for Season 8. Hopefully this will help out. Make sure to leave a like if this helped you. And enjoy the season. It's going to be fantastic. I am excited. And I'm sure we all are excited for some Katarina action on the Rift. Hopefully, I will see you guys on the Rift. Peace out.